All right, what is up, my peoples? You know what it is. Today, we are reviewing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from Boom Studios, issue number 36. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, you guys know my style. You know that I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, and I also talk about the very nerdy things and facts related to these comics. So, starting off with the good, we get the continued story of, the Beyond the Grid Rangers doing Ranger things, and some of these Rangers even without powers. Tanya, the Yellow Zeo Ranger, and the Magna Defender, they are now a thing. We kind of seen that coming like in the last issue. That was kind of hinted at, so it's kind of official where you get some moments with them. Plus, there's a ton of like fun action sequences and scenes that take place all over this comic. So visually, it's very grasping. It's very fun. I think it also has this underlying, suspenseful tone to it within this comic where the colors are a little bit more dark. Obviously, they are in space. But again, I think it's very suspenseful within, this particular issue nonetheless. Now, we're going to talk about the bad. Getting into the bad of this comic, I'm going to compare this particular issue to like a filler episode of an anime. It's like you can tell the story is going somewhere, but as you're reading along, it can almost seem clouded with the direction. So you're not really sure exactly, what's happening and exactly where it's going to conclude. It's almost like if you've ever talked to somebody, like you have that one friend that's telling you this amazing story of or an experience that happened to them throughout the day. And this story that they're telling you or this joke ends up taking 20 minutes. And you're like, okay, can we just get to the point? I feel like there's segments of this particular story and this comic where it can feel like that. All right, where exactly are we going? How is this going to conclude? And what's the point of, this particular segment of the story? I feel like there are moments within this particular, Beyond the Grid story where I felt like that as the reader. Now, enough about the bad. I know I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, but, I have to share both sides. So now we're going to talk about the nerdy facts. I like one thing that they're doing with the villain, the Praetor. I like the subtle absence that we have to this character. Mind you, we just had a huge storyline that just, ended over 2018, summer, where we had, Lord Draken who shattered the grid and different dimensions, so with a big storyline like that and then getting into the follow-up with it, I think it is important, and I think they've done that well with this particular villain where it's yeah, we've grown attached to that story and a lot of the characters that were in Shadow Grid. It's kind of nice to have that subtle absence of this new villain, that's kind of making a presence within this story. And I think that was a smart thing that they did, because it's yeah, you don't want to throw so many new characters all at once. It's kind of nice to have that distance and space where it almost has this suspenseful feeling to it. So I think they're doing that very well with the Praetor, where it's I want to know more about this character, but it's great that I haven't had so much where it's I'm just coming off of a particular story. It's kind of nice to kind of will your way into it nonetheless. At the end of this book, all of the Rangers, they find themselves on a planet that is literally filled with Zeo crystals, which, brings up some interesting things to think about. And obviously, with this picture, because I always thought the artwork when they pre-released this for this particular issue, I was like, why do they look so weird? Because they have a same kind of texture almost as the Solar Ranger almost, but a little bit different. So I'm assuming maybe this has something to do with the Zeo crystals and this planet. It seems like the Solarix thing that the Solar Ranger is carrying around seems to be triggered. By this planet that's filled with Zeo crystals. So we'll see what happens with that. I find that to be very interesting. I didn't know that there was a planet that had nothing but Zeo crystals. That's crazy. So let's find out what's going to happen next. Also, at the very end of this book, you have the continued adventures of Ninjor and the Blue Centurion. So be sure to give that a read. That's just pretty fun. And I like seeing those characters. I almost think, man, it would be tight. This is just my opinion. I think it would be tight to see a mini series of Ninjor and Blue Centurion, live action. I think that would be cool. I think fans will like it, but I just, just looking at those characters and seeing them team up and going about and have these crazy adventures, I think it's just pretty badass. So I think that would be pretty darn cool. Just my opinion. As I've been reading through, I'm like, you're giving me some ideas. This might be kind of cool. You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think about that. Overall, you guys, I enjoyed this book. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. I thought it was cool. It did what it was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I tell y'all that every time I read these books. Like, I know Boom Studios knows what they're doing, and that's why I like to have these conversations with you guys, so we can flesh out different details. Like, there's probably a lot of like little details that, you know, I have not like touched over within this particular comic, but, you know, I just want to give you the basic thoughts behind, you know, my dissecting of this comic book. I really dig it, and I think the follow-up from Shadow Grid has been pretty good so far overall. Let me know what you guys thought about this comic. Have you read it? If so, share your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what you thought. Also, if you are new to my channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button, because I got videos coming out every weekend. Y'all know what's up, so I really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my content. If you're a Power Ranger fan, well, you do not want to miss out. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I got, you know, videos about Power Ranger stuff that comes out all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it, guys. Until next time, all I have to say is make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and